The Celtics even the score here in Boston, thanks to some new faces on Boston, like Robert Parrish, who has blossomed under Bill Fitch, and the rookie, Kevin McHale, whose late-game heroics pulled it out. Then in early February in Philadelphia, the Sixers controlled the game. Larry Bird did not have one of his better contests of the year, as he only scored 11 points, 4 for 16 from the field. But Dr. J had a field day, 33 points in this game, and he has averaged nearly 38 against Boston so far as the 76ers cooled off the hot Celtics and kept Philly in command. So with a month remaining till the playoffs, the 76ers and Celtics, with the two best records in the NBA, clash once more, with the Celtics 2.5 games behind and needing badly a victory today. King in Boston. No longer the Boston Celtics have captivated the audience, and we have another capacity crowd at the Boston Garden as the Philadelphia 76ers clash once more with the Boston Celtics. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton, and keep in mind that no game between these two clubs have been decided by more than 4 points, and that's how tightly they play the game. And we have another great contest for you this afternoon. And working with us is the guy who used to coach the New Jersey Nets. He has promised us that he is not going to leave his seat. He's not going to rant and rave at the officials. Kevin Lockery, good to have you here, Kevin. And, of course, you coach Dr. J, you coach Tiny Archibald. You know the teams. Why are they so great?
The two great teams that have great personnel, Dick, but they play great defense. They have a lot of people that can block shots and great rebounding, which you have to play good defense, and that's why they win.
Both are 1-2 in shot blocking. Both are 1-2 in defense in the NBA. The stars on the court at the same time, Dr. J and Larry Bird.
Dr. J, I think, is the greatest forward to ever play the game. I coached him for 3 years. We had 2 championships together. There's no one ever played the game better. Larry Bird has a chance to almost be as good as Doc, but he's a great basketball player even in his second year.
What do you think is the key matchup? Because Doc may not play Bird and vice versa. There's a key matchup on the court. Which one do you think it is?
I think the key matchup of the ball game will be Robert Parrish against Darryl Dawkins. I think Philadelphia will try to get Parrish in foul trouble early.
All right. Well, you know, we talked to both coaches before the game. Bill Fitch, who used to be a master of the one-liners, he's a serious coach now with the Boston Celtics. And we asked him, why is it important for the Celtics to finish ahead of the Philadelphia 76ers?
Number one, I think if we can beat Philadelphia, we can be the best in basketball. Number two, if we beat Philadelphia today, we still have a chance of finishing ahead of them in our division, which means no mini-series. We would then have the home court advantage. We would have the 7-game series. And I think it's important. I think anybody that's been in a 7-game series and been in a 3-game series knows it's better to be in a 7-game series.
Billy Cunningham has done a marvelous job with the Philadelphia 76ers. He has proven himself, and he has reached 200 victories faster than any coach in NBA history. And we asked him, you know, they played Utah, a tough struggle win on Friday night while the Celtics blew out Atlanta, what they must do to beat the Celtics on the road court today.
To beat Boston, first of all, we have to do the job in containing them on the offensive boards and containing their fast break with Tiny Archibald. And to do that, we need everybody to get back defensively for us. The reason why we want to win this is that we feel that it'll give us a 3.5 game edge, and we want to come in first place in the conference and the best record in the league, because if there's a 7th game in the playoff series, we want it to be played in Philadelphia.
So there you have it. Both coaches, you got everything you want. 2 great defenses, Dr. J, Larry Bird, and a lot of great players in a full house. Sit back and enjoy the 76ers and the Celtics this afternoon from Boston Garden.
The NBA on CBS. Today's game is sponsored by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Ryder Truck Rental, the best truck money can rent or lease. And by the U.S. Army. The Army, a great place to be, all you can be.
We are back here in Boston Garden. And we look at the starting lineups for the Philadelphia 76ers, and Dr. J. Caldwell-Jones, a 7-foot forward who can guard the best forward on the opposition. Darryl Dawkins, as Kevin mentioned, a big matchup. Cheeks and Tony in the backcourt. As you look at their coach, Billy Cunningham, and for the Celtics, their familiar lineup. And Maxwell, tremendous field goal shooter. Parrish in the middle, and Ford and Archibald in the backcourt, and Bill Fitch. And Kevin, the bench is going to play such a big role in this one.
Both teams have great benches, and they use the bench exclusively. They'll use them for a lot of time. They have some great players on both teams coming off the bench.
Jack Madden, Wally Rooney are officials. Underway as you look at Darryl Dawkins, whose field goal shooting has slumped just a little bit. And it's Boston ball as we get underway, and the crowd is really primed for this one. This is the 4th meeting between the clubs. Philly leads 2-1, and counting today, they meet 3 more times. Tiny Archibald, number 7. He's guarded by Cheeks. Maxwell, Tiny, top of the key. Caldwell-Jones, the leading rebounder for the 76ers, who like to run. They're a quick team.
Both teams will try to push the ball up the floor. Philadelphia's a little quicker than Boston.
There's that Dawkins and Parrish matchup. They go back to Darryl. Over Parrish, and Bird the rebound. Bird down the middle, Philly the lane, and a pass to Maxwell, and he draws the foul. Tremendous pass.
That's a great fast break led by Tiny Archibald, and Bird also made a great pass on the play. There's Tiny in the middle, where the man should have the ball, right to Bird, behind the back pass, which is a good pass to Maxwell, foul before the play.
Knocked away as Irving is all over Maxwell, who misses, in Cheeks. He got that ball up in a hurry. And here is the point guard, Mo Cheeks, who's averaging 9.5 points a game from West Texas State. Maxwell giving Irving the outside shot, and that's the way you got to do it, other than trapping him. Dawkins inside, goaltending. The basket counts.
That's 2 straight times down the floor that they went to Parrish. Philadelphia is really going to try to go at Parrish with Dawkins, and Dawkins gets good inside position, and Parrish will goaltend the shot, and basket's good.
Less than 2 minutes gone by, first quarter. Bird tried to pass it to Ford. It hit the rim, however, and on the turnover, the 76ers have it. Cheeks driving against 2 big guys, and he got it. He had Bird and Maxwell and went right through it.
That's just a great individual move by Maurice Cheeks, who's really a fine basketball player, and one of the reasons why Philadelphia is such a good basketball team.
Caldwell-Jones on Bird and playing him tough. Parrish. Tipped out by Caldwell to Darryl Dawkins. Both teams use their benches, and so the bench matchups will play a big factor here. The Doc looks for an open man. Andrew Toney, the rookie, and a superb pass to Caldwell-Jones.
I think that Boston's going to get a quick timeout right here. They should get a timeout shortly. They haven't scored yet, and it looks like Philly's getting off to a good start.
And that's what Billy C. wanted to do, as Irving picks up Archibald on the switch, and we'll have a foul inside.
That's a 2-man game with Tiny in the forward that time, or it will be Tiny Archibald in the center, and they try to penetrate the middle with Tiny and pass off. He got fouled before the play.
Foul was on Andrew Toney. Archibald got loose, but he was a little over anxious and lost the ball. It was a good play.
It was an excellent play. Again, I think there's going to be a timeout shortly for Boston. Philly seems to have gotten off by far the best start, and they're playing good basketball.
You think 6-0? You think by now Fish should have called one?
I think 6 points is the limit. I believe that after 6 points, you should call a timeout any time in the game.
Boy, Bird is all over Caldwell-Jones. Dawkins got free, and they're getting inside, even the guards, Kevin.
They've gone right to Dawkins, what we thought they would against Paris. Now it's 8-0. I think it's time for timeout.
Well, Fitch gives no indication that he's going to call one, as Maxwell goes to the hoop against the Doc, and now we have a foul on Dr. J. Here's the last play. Dawkins inside. What a move.
That was a pick by Toney to isolate Dawkins inside, and he just slams it down. I think that Paris is going to have to be more active defensively against Dawkins.
So Cornbread Maxwell goes to the line. He's averaging just about 15.5 points per game. He scored 29 against Atlanta Friday night to give him 1,000 for the 3rd consecutive year. And he's the kind of guy where he just makes you foul.
I think Maxwell is one of the most underrated basketball players in the whole league. Because there's so many other stars on the basketball team, I think you forget about him. He's terrific inside. The only problem he might have with his jump shot some nights, but he hustles all the time. He handles the ball well. He's an excellent player.
He missed both of them, but Parrish saves it. Inside to Maxwell. Caldwell Jones, good defense, and Maxwell makes it the second time. And that's what Billy told you. He didn't want the Celtics to beat him on the offensive board.
Yeah, Philadelphia was very concerned about offensive rebounding, and there's their first 2 points off the offensive board.
8-2 the score. Keep in mind, the Sixers have 3 team fouls. The Celtics have none here with 9 minutes remaining in the first quarter. And going up with a jumper is Dawkins, and the dot goes in. Right through the hands of Caldwell Jones. Saves it to Cheeks. This is a game they're playing as if it were the playoffs. Andrew Toney inside. What a...
He's a Phil Ryan rookie. He's a good rookie. He's an excellent basketball player. He's very physical also for a rookie, which you don't see a whole lot.
Got to watch Ford with the outside shot, although that's not the way he likes to take him.
No, he likes to shoot a standstill shot.
Cheeks. And it's out of bounds. It hit Wally Rooney, and that saved Philadelphia for the moment, but a turnover gives the ball back to the Celtics, who have won 3 straight and 21 of their last 27, and equaled their biggest margin of victory over Atlanta with a rousing 30-point victory. Celtics off to a slow start, and Philly's taken the game to him. Parrish setting a screen. Nothing Dawkins could do there.
That's a tough shot. You got to give Parrish credit. It was good defense. That's why Parrish is an excellent player.
Billy C. calling a play. Why does a coach call a play?
Well, again, I like to call all the plays when I was coaching. I think it takes pressure off your back court. They were trying to go down deep to Dawkins on the same play that he slammed the dunk last time.
Irving trying to put the moves on Maxwell, leaving Caldwell Jones open for the moment, and Maxwell has it. The Celtics running now with Parrish. Parrish, 4, and a foul. And that's the 4th team foul on Philadelphia, so the Celtics are in good shape there, though they trail in the game by 6.
On this play, Parrish, who is 7 foot tall or better, is the lead on the fast break and makes a great play from the middle of the break to hit Ford, and Ford's going to get 2 foul shots.
Foul is on Andrew Toney, his 2nd personal foul, and here is Chris Ford in his 9th year from Villanova. Outstanding 3-point shooter who's averaging just over 9 points a game. Not quick, but a steady guard.
Well, Dick, I would have called the timeout. I think Bill Fitch made a good play by not calling the timeout. And when we got 6 down, I used to call it, and I guess we started off every game like that.
Hindsight's 20/20, Kevin.
That's
it's
right.
Easy to say that now, but when you're down 8-0, it's something else. 7:35 remaining in the first quarter. Maurice Cheeks, watched by Archibald. Maxwell on Irving. They'll let Irving take that shot all day. Ford down the other side. Bird. Caldwell is on Bird. Imagine being 7 feet tall, quick, and going against the tough guards. Well, Caldwell fouled there, and that is Caldwell Jones. First personal foul, and now the 76ers are in the penalty, and the Celtics have yet to pick up a personal.
Right, the penalty is going to hurt Philadelphia to be so early in the penalty, but Bird did the right thing. When playing against Caldwell Jones, you can't post him up. He's too big. You have to face him straight up and try to drive, just like Bird did. I think they made a bad play on letting Bird drive the middle. You should try to push him down the baseline.
Larry Bird, a good foul shooter, misses the first, and the Celtics are having trouble on the free throw line.
They are an excellent foul shooting team, though. Maxwell missed 2 before. Had a long string of good foul shooting in the last 5 or 6 games. Bird is a great foul shooter. He won't miss too many.
They're 3 for 6 right now, and because of the penalty, Bird has a chance to convert here. Tight game. We'd be surprised if this game goes well over 100 points.
I think this would be a real good defensive struggle.
7 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the first quarter here at Boston Garden. The 76ers and the Celts, the teams with the best records in the NBA, squaring off again. And we have a whistle and a foul away from the ball.
Jack Madden has called a zone on Boston, which the center or someone was in the lane for 3 seconds, which makes a zone defense. I think it was a poor call, but I think Jack wants to get the game started that way.
Now, you would say, if you were a coach, and Fitch would say, what about consistency? It's done all the time, right?
Well, right. I probably would have had a technical on the play because I don't think anybody in the building seen it was a zone, and I really honestly believe Boston was not playing a zone.
Irving connected, and a 3-point lead now for the Philadelphia 76ers. We're seeing very tight defense, especially Bird and Caldwell Jones. Irving Fires across to Tony. Ford leaves his feet, and 3 seconds called against Philadelphia.
That's almost an automatic call. Once you pass up an easy shot with people in the lane, they'll call 3 seconds.
So we have a timeout called by the Boston Celtics. A tight game as we anticipated, and we haven't even begun to see the people coming off the bench, and that's a game in itself. We'll be back. 76ers have the best road record in the NBA at 23-10, and they also have the best road record. They've won 54, the Celtics 51. Philadelphia has outscored Boston with their bench by 12 points in their first 3 games this year. So Boston has it now, nearing the halfway point of this first quarter. 11-8, the score, Philadelphia leading. They've had the lead. They scored the first 8 points. And we have a whistle on the other end now, and that's away from the ball. It's on Dawkins, I believe.
With Philadelphia in the penalty, this is 2 foul shots. That's why getting in the penalty early really hurts the ball club.
Billy Cunningham off the bench. Keep in mind that Philadelphia had a struggle against Utah. They had to fly in from Salt Lake City yesterday, while the Celtics had to practice yesterday because they really didn't work up much of a sweat in romping over Atlanta Friday.
Well, Bill Fitch said that ball club over the last 5 or 6 games has played as well as they have all season.
Well, they've averaged 124. When you look at the best defense in a team that's now scoring at 124, you've got a combo.
Right.
There's Bill Fitch, and a technical foul. Maybe because your presence here, Kevin, it looks like the officials are going to give out tees.
I think this is stemming from the zone defense that Jack Madden called, and I think this is the problem why Bill Fitch has got a technical. I can't understand how people can get technicals in games.
I can understand that. So Irving connects. The first technical was on the use of the zone, but this is the first one on Coach Bill Fitch. So a 2-point lead for Philadelphia. Tight defensive struggle here in the first quarter. Irving watched by Maxwell. Maxwell looking for the drive. You got to give him help. Ford knocks it away. Cheeks is there. Moe into the corner to Tony. Got a lot of poise for a rookie, although he's made the rookie mistakes now and then. Over Ford, he's got it. Andrew Tony. So Tony and Dawkins each have 4 points, and the Sixers maintain their lead. Bird will shoot over whistle. No basket. We have a whistle. Robert Parrish is called for the foul. Fitch is going. I don't believe he was hit with a technical. I didn't see, but Fitch is left.
Fitch is left, I think, to take a look at whether that was a zone defense they were in on his videotape.
It's interesting. During a ball game, he's going to look at television. Caldwell Jones in, and a foul. It would have counted if it fallen. Jimmy Rogers, his assistant, along with K.C. Jones over at the sideline, will handle things. And the foul is on Parrish so quickly. Robert Parrish picks up 2 fouls. Here's Rogers, who was with Bill Fitch in Cleveland, and of course K.C., a legendary player and coach on the road.
I've only seen this happen once before, with Bob Leonard left the bench because he felt he wasn't doing a good coaching job. But I think Bill Fitch is going to look at the films to see if that was a zone defense they were in. He was very irate and upset about that call.
Caldwell Jones, the first free throw. Now Madden explaining to Billy Cunningham. What is he questioning?
I think he wants to know where Bill Fitch went.
I didn't think the coach looks at the other coach so much. Tiny Archibald, the point guard, working against Mo Cheeks, finds an opening. Blocked by Dr. J. And there you see an example of Philadelphia's shot blocking ability. They have 4 and 2 on the court at all times. And a steal by Tiny. Ford is to Tiny's left. Archibald himself. Cut to 4 with 5.5 minutes remaining in the first quarter. And once again, Cunningham off the bench to call the play. 22. Parrish is doing a job on Dawkins, overplaying him and keeping him outside. Darrell hits nonetheless.
That's good defense. It's just a great shot by Darrell Dawkins.
Caldwell Jones then runs over to his man, Dr. Larry Bird. Archibald goes in, and we'll have another foul. Philly has been over the limit. Previous foul on Tiny here.
Tiny going to the basket. He misses the shot, but Bird, on the sheer hustle by Bird, he comes and follows up to the play and gets an easy basket.
And that's why he could be, as you say, as good as Sunday as good as Dr. J.B.?
I think only time will tell that. I think they play a different type game. One plays with a little bit more charisma than the other, but Bird is a great basketball player who's almost puts on a clinic every game.
Tiny Archibald, 5th in the NBA in assists. Fitch has turned his game around.
Well, here comes Bill Fitch. He's making a reappearance.
Well, the only thing is that Fitch will be convinced there was no zone, but he's back now. 18-14 the score, 5:04, and the coach is back. We have yet to have a substitution here. Andrew Toney watched by Chris Ford. Dawkins out there setting a screen. Pulls up. Tough shot to take for Toney. And probably not the best one he could have taken. It's out of bounds. Boston ball.
Now, Toney will force a shot now and then. If he forces too many, they'll bring in Hollins quickly.
Well, Billy Cunningham has made a habit of playing the rookies. He used Cheeks a lot. Tony, Darryl Dawkins, he goes with them. But he'll take him out and chew him out, too. Inside of Maxwell, feed to Bird. There's a good pass by Maxwell. A lot of people wouldn't have made that extra pass.
Exactly. That's a tough pass when you're that close to the basket and in a lot of traffic. It's tough to pass in there.
Sixers by 2 with 4:20 remaining in the first quarter. Philadelphia is in the penalties. Boston has a lot of fouls to give. Dawkins has been firing away and hitting from outside, and Darryl Dawkins on 4 field goals has 8 now. Archibald almost double team now as Irving sloughing off Maxwell. He only has to worry about him inside as Parrish misses, and a rebound by Andrew Toney, the rookie from Southwest Louisiana. The Doc at the other end.
Toney made a great play. Last time on the break, he missed Doc, and Doc let him know about it. This time on the break, he got the ball to the right guy, to Doc.
And Cheeks has been so effective finding Doc this year.
Right.
Parrish. And it's Ford for the 3. He's the Celtic leader in that department, Chris Ford. And the Celtics now trail again by 3, 22-19 with under 3.5 to play in the first quarter. Dick Stockton and Kevin Lockery. In the first game of this NBA doubleheader on CBS this afternoon, Toney with a jumper coming around the screen. 5-point Philadelphia lead. Bird pulls up. He's got it. When Bird plays well, the Celtics play well.
He's really not super fast, but he gets out on the break as well as anybody. And his last 2 baskets are because he got out well on the break.
Dawkins spinning around. They look for Darryl. And he has burned Parrish outside. One of his infrequent misses there, but at the other end, that Larry Bird can do it inside, outside, and it was Maxwell combined with Robert Parrish, and the Sixers lead is cut by 1.
The problem with this play is that Dawkins, after he takes the jump shot.
Timeout called by Philly. Here is how it happened.
Right.
Wow.
Dawkins did not get back on defense, let Parrish run right by him.
Well, Philadelphia has led throughout, but the Celtics have slowly crept up, and they're trailing by a point as we have a timeout with 2:34 to go in the first. There was more to that last play than just a spectacular slam dunk, Kevin.
Dick Dawkins missed the jumper, but he lets Parrish run right by him, and he didn't hustle back on defense, and it's an easy basket for Parrish. Give Parrish the credit for hustling.
Lionel Hollins, number 9, has come in the ball game for the 76ers, and the luxury of having an Andrew Toney make the team is Hollins, who came over from Portland last year, now can come off the bench, and what a streak shooter he is. Only substitution in the game. Dawkins looking inside for the Doc. Off Toney, picked up by Ford. Celtics can take the lead for the first time here with 2:15 remaining in the first quarter. Bird fakes Caldwell Jones and feeds. Caldwell left his feet. No.
You shouldn't leave your feet, but Bird made a great play and a great pass off. Just a beautiful play.
2 minutes remaining in the first quarter, and the Celtics lead for the first time. And Archibald tipped the ball away from Hollins from behind. Inside low to Toney, and Bird made a tremendous defensive play and still has it. Incredible. And it's off Parrish, Philadelphia ball. How about defense? How about defense?
That's a great pass by Bird. Another slam dunk by Parrish. Bird made the whole play possible. He hits 2 points.
Well, Bill Fitch did leave, as you thought, as Bobby Jones comes in the ball game, a key man for Philadelphia today, coming off the bench to look at the tapes to see whether it was indeed his own, but it looked like Fitch came back and quietly went back to his seat, so who knows. Hollins inside to Bobby Jones. Quick passing. Dawkins has been laying outside, but that one was off the glass. Wild shot. Ford coming back down. Low to Maxwell. Parrish all alone. He hit. 10 points for Robert Parrish. Bird has 8 to lead the Celtics. Dawkins has 8 to lead Philadelphia, all just about from outside. 27-24, Boston. Hollins looking for help, and Clint Richardson has his shot blocked out of bounds. Jones still in bounds. 2-on-1. Maxwell. And a foul.
You're getting everything today, right, Cap?
This is a great streak by the Celtics. Actually, we only have 56 seconds left in the period. Maybe it would be a good time to use your 20-second injury timeout. I think they're going to use it anyway because Hollins is hurt.
And he's behind the basket in the stanchion. Lionel Hollins, with all the padding, is shaken up right now, and they're tending to him. Clint Richardson also came in the ball game, and he is shaken up. The Celtics have reeled off 8 straight points to take a 5-point lead. And let's look at some nifty passing inside.
It's a great block here by Parrish on Richardson. Great hustle by Bird to retrieve the ball. Makes a great play, great hustle. And the Bird, again, is doing just about everything you can ask of a basketball player. So far, it's been very significant in the job that Maxwell has done on Dr. J. Dr. J has really been playing extremely well by Maxwell.
Hollins appears to be all right. He remains in the game. Let's see at another angle what Larry Bird did.
That's Hollins
This is
going
Hollins'
off.
injury.
Looks like he's all right, though. Anyway, right at that time, the 76ers really needed a timeout, and they got almost a whole full minute timeout for the 22nd.
Rick Roby, who's been red hot, comes in the game now, replacing Parrish, who gets a hand as Maxwell goes to the line. There is Rick, who was a hero last year when Dave Cowens was out, moving into the center spot. Rick has been basically just the center coming off the bench. Foul was on Hollins, and since the 76ers had that early 8-0 lead, the Celtics have outscored Philly 30-16 to take a 6-point lead. Bobby Jones into Doc Irving, and Irving gets it and fouled. He does incredible things. Now, when you had him with 44 seconds to go now, we're going to look at it again, you had him do everything but just about sweep up the court.
Right, this is one of the plays I taught Doc. He couldn't do that before I got a hold of him, so Billy Cunningham had nothing to do with this.
How come you never did that when you played?
Well, I did about it. I was very bashful.
3-point play for Dr. J. And it's now 30-27 with 40 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Celtics trailed 8-0, but they've come back. Maxwell gets free. Roby comes in and gets the foul. And Maxwell is making some effective passes inside when normally could go up and get the shot or the foul himself.
Right, Dick, and it looks easy on TV, but to make passes inside the 3-second area is very difficult in professional basketball with all the big people you have. And he's making pinpoint passes right inside, and you got to give him a lot of credit.
Hollins' foul is second, and Rick Roby, who's averaging 9 a game and was 9 for 11 from the field against Atlanta, 8 for 10 against Cleveland. He's in the midst of his best stretch of the season.
He's playing real well. He's about the weakest foul shooter on the ball club now.
And he's proving it right here. And the ball comes down to Ford and lays it in. And now Philadelphia, and if you look at the face of Billy Cunningham, nothing but consternation as he has seen his team just about fizzle out after a hot early start. But this time, 33-27 with 16 seconds to go in the first quarter. Loops it into Irving, off his hands to Bird. Is it Boston just taking the play away, or is it just a matter of Philadelphia cooling off? How do you read it?
I think Philadelphia right now is having trouble getting into the offense. Boston is taking them out of the offense in the half-court game, and I think they're going to have to improve in the half-court offense. Philadelphia, they'll be in trouble.
Tony back in the game at guard. He has the ball now with the waning seconds. Shot by Jones will count. The shot will count by Bobby Jones off the glass to end the first quarter, and that kind of subdues the crowd a bit, but The Celtics nonetheless reeled off quite a streak at one point and have a 33-29 lead after one quarter here at Boston Garden. The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Basketball Association. Glad you could join us for an NBA doubleheader on CBS today. Later this afternoon, Phoenix plays at Los Angeles. And right now, as you look at Darryl Dawkins, the 76ers trail the Celtics 33-29 as we start the second quarter. Dick Stockton with Kevin Lockery. Parrish with 10 leads Boston. Dawkins on the bench with 8, high man for Philadelphia. Clint Richardson, who plays more than people realize at guard number 4 along with Lionel Hollins, and Julius Erving hits from outside.
That's the shot you will have to give to Doc, though. You have to sacrifice someplace, and he hit a long jump shot. Still, Maxwell played pretty good defense on that play.
Both teams shot 55% from the field in that first quarter. Maxwell going low to Ford. All over him is Hollins, and Bobby Jones helped out. But Bird comes out of the pack, and an incredible blind behind the back pass. But the Celtics will turn it off. 3-second violation. Roby was in the lane.
Roby was in the lane. I think it was a good call, even though Boston bench did not like it. It was a good call.
Don't you think the officials are doing a better job now? You're not coaching
They
anymore?
do a better job from this viewpoint than they do when you're sitting on the bench or standing by the bench.
Lionel Hollins looks outside. High post is Cheeks, or I'm sorry, Caldwell Jones, and we have a whistle and a foul. Bill Fitch is at the end of the bench. He's been almost everywhere but sitting in his chair.
Right, he's really covered the whole arena. He's been inside and he's been outside. He's covered the whole arena in the first quarter.
There you look at the shooting percentages. Larry Bird picked up his first personal foul as Hollins hits outside. Lionel Hollins, you don't want him to get a streak going.
No, he's a good basketball player.
Opening minutes now, and we have a tie ball game. Boston has cooled off just a bit after dominating that first quarter following an early spurt by Philadelphia. Erving is on Maxwell, going to the hoop as he does, and Erving was smart not to foul him there.
Right, but Dr. J shouldn't have let him drive down the middle that easy. But again, a nice left-handed move that time by Maxwell.
Hollins in the backcourt with Richardson. Caldwell Jones is playing center. Bobby Jones, number 24, and Dr. J. Richardson, good pass inside to Hollins. Jones can't save it, and it's out of bounds. Boston ball. Now we have Steve Mix coming in the game. Steve Mix, who's 7th in the NBA in free throw shooting, and you can expect some outside popping in a hurry as Dr. J gets a breather.
Plus, I think with Steve Mix in the game will get a little bit more physical with Mix and Maxwell.
Maxwell going to the hoop now, inside to Roby, over Caldwell Jones. Caldwell Jones, Roby, tell us about that kind of matchup.
Well, again, Roby has been playing real good basketball over the last 10 or 12 days, and he showed confidence by taking a left-handed hook. And right now, I'd say Roby's going to conquer in that matchup.
Maxwell fighting Mix inside, but there's Caldwell Jones, who's so quick and tall and quite a defender. And we have a foul, and they kept pounding the boards. And the foul is on Rick Roby, his second personal foul. Maxwell will go out, and Kevin McHale will come in the ball game. But first, we will have a timeout. And McHale has been one of the great stories for the Boston Celtics this year, and we will develop that as we go on. We return in a moment. Green's the color here at Boston Garden. Whether you're a kid, mom, pop, whatever, that's the magic color. And the Celtics have worn it proudly to the tune of 13 world championships. Kevin McHale is in the ball game, and now we're seeing a lot of the bench matchups that we're going to be talking about with Kevin Lockery. Key point of this game. Hollins inside the mix, doesn't go for him, but Bobby Jones is there, and there's what we're talking about. When you have a Bobby Jones and a Lionel Hollins, what does that do for Philadelphia?
Well, right now, Philadelphia has the whole second string in the game but Caldwell Jones. You have Bobby Jones, who's one of the best players in the league at his position. He's an all-star. He's been an all-defensive player for the last 5 or 6 years, and he's accepting the role of coming off the bench. Not many players would do that. Lionel Hollins was a starting guard on Portland in the World Championship team. He's accepted the role of coming off the bench behind a rookie. This is what makes Philadelphia such a great basketball team.
It's a total unselfish club. That's one of the secrets, and Cunningham has him playing that way. Bobby Jones hits them both. The foul was on McHale, by the way, and a 37-35 Boston lead. 9:25 remaining in the first half. Roby handling it outside. McHale says he's free. Mix defending against them. Jones knocks the ball away. And Bobby Jones, just a great two-way player.
He really is. He's one of the finest defensive forwards I've ever seen play the game, and he's also a good shooter. He's just so unselfish at times. It does hurt his ball club.
7 seconds to get it up, and it's Larry Bird who does it. Larry Bird, averaging 21.5 points per game, now has 10 in the ball game. He had a career high of 12 assists against Atlanta. Bad pass by Hollins, out of bounds. Pass Clint Richardson, and now Boston has it again, leading by 4. Tiny Archibald, the point guard, and Clint Richardson watching him. Hard-nosed player. He's averaged over 20 minutes a game in the last 9 contests, so he's kind of a forgotten man who sees a lot of action. Roby muscling Caldwell Jones. Bird is there, and he's fouled. And that'll be the first foul on Philadelphia in this quarter. It's a reverse of the first period when Philly picked up all the fouls, but that's number 1 on Philly, and it's on Bobby Jones.
This Bird is so active on the offensive boards. They try to keep him out. They can't keep him off the boards. He's got half his points by just being aggressive on the offensive boards. When a guy can shoot outside and still be aggressive on the offensive boards, it's pretty hard to stop him.
Celtics have struggled at the free throw line and has continued into the second period. They have missed 6 thus far. Celtics' biggest lead has been 6. It's 4 now. He missed another one. That's 7 misses. Philadelphia had that 8-0 spurt at the start. Jones wide open, and McHale comes down with it. You'll see McHale at the end of the game particularly, because that's where he has been terrific. Tiny Archibald goes in, draws the foul. Clint Richardson commits it, and that's what you want Tiny to do, the way he penetrates.
Tiny penetrates so well, and he's a very unselfish basketball player. I think it was a great tribute that he was the MVP in the All-Star game this year. It shows what a great career he's had and what a great player he is.
He changed his game a little bit when he came over to you with the Nets.
Yeah, we were hoping to have he and Doc together, which I think would have made the most exciting pair of basketball players together. And I think if Doc and Tiny could have played for the Nets together, I think I'd still be coaching there. And Tiny, we slowed the game down with Tiny a little bit, and he accepted that role, so he's a very coachable player and a great basketball player.
You mean you need players to win?
Well, I think just sometimes.
41-35. Celtics by 6, matches their biggest lead in the game with 8:25 remaining in the half. Hollins, Bird gets inside, Mix. Good reverse layup. Jones found Mix. They pass well, and that's the unselfish aspect of this play. Perimeter passing. Archibald. Bird has a screen from Rick Roby. Larry Bird. So Bird now has 12 points in the ball game. The Celtics lead 43-37. And Irving's going to come back in, and a bad pass. 76ers have turned the ball over more than they'd like to at this point.
But right now, Hollins and Richardson together haven't been playing real well. They'll make a change. In fact, here comes Cheeks right now to come back in the ball game and take Hollins' place.
Clint Richardson, there's Cheeks, who's going to be watching Ford, and Clint Richardson is guarding the point guard Archibald.
I think it just will be this time down the floor. I think they'll switch that assignment next time.
Ford misses. He already hit 1 3-pointer, missed this one, but look at Larry Bird, a whirling dervish all over the court. Roby's inside, they go to Bird. Now Irving is on Bird. Bird misses outside, and here comes Clint Richardson. The Sixers know they're quicker than Boston, and they have to demonstrate it. But misses the layup and shakes his head. He wanted a foul. On the other end, Ford, McHale inside, and he's hit. Foul on Philadelphia.
Now we really have the classic matchup. You got Doc and Bird going against one another on both ends of the floor. So we'll really see some great basketball in the next 5 or 6 minutes.
Foul was on Clint Richardson. Halftime, we have a lot of interesting things for you, including a rebound feature with Willis Reed. Kevin and I are going to be talking about the playoff picture. If the season ended right now, how would things go? And Kevin's not going to mince any words. He promises us. That's coming up at halftime, along with another look at the great Dave Cowens, who had his number hoisted to the rafters recently. Darryl Dawkins, who has been spending good time on the bench, comes back in as you look at McHale's numbers.
Right, the game is going to be up to about an 8-point lead right now, and I think it's time for, as Billy did, to get his players back in. He's got Cheeks back in. He's got Doc back in. He's brought Dawkins back in the game. This is the first substitution in the backcourt for Boston, and that's the difference in the two clubs. Billy uses 4 guards. Bill Fitch only uses 3 guards. Billy C uses 4 guards.
And that'll bring up the point of ML Carr's presence, which we'll talk about later. Biggest lead of the game. Traveling call. Philadelphia Philadelphia turning it around, and there you see a second quarter score. Seattle trying to get a playoff berth, leading Atlanta 43-39. We'll have a timeout. The Sixers are a little bit unraveled right now, and the Celtics have their biggest lead. 7:16 to go in the first half. The crowd loves it at Boston Garden, with Boston leading. Kevin Lockree, former coach of the New Jersey Nets, enjoying this game, I'm sure, far more than some of the games where you left early, huh?
Well, we're usually behind at this stage of the game by 15 or 20, so it's much more fun from this angle.
Larry Bird having a whale of a first half. He has 12 points, 5 for 7 from the field, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists. So as Bird goes, so go the Celtics, and they're going right now 45-37. Washington trying to catch Chicago for a playoff berth against Milwaukee. Milwaukee still has a shot to have the best record in the Eastern Conference, don't they? Winding down to 7 minutes in the first half. Ford looking for help, and he throws it right in the hands of Mo Cheeks. Cheeks coming down, 3-on-2 break, carries himself, foul, basket counts. Good play by Cheeks. That's where you got to know when to toss it, when not, and Cheeks has really developed at that point.
That was a great play by Cheeks, because Bird actually played the play very well. As he's come down the middle, Cheeks, Bird thought he was going to pass it to Doc, and he didn't, and he committed himself, and Bird gave him the three-point play.
Maurice Cheeks, a three-point play. He is awfully quick and going more to the hoop now than he did when he first came up.
He's much more confident basketball player, and one of the keys to Philadelphia.
Gerald Henderson, that third guard in the game, number 42, and he likes to shoot. He looks for the shot. Bird working against Irving in that classic matchup. And Irving committed himself, and Bird burned him.
That's a great shot by Bird. Not really as bad a defense by Doc as it might have looked. He played it right, but Bird made a great play.
All right. Foul. Irving draws the foul. I think Doc feels he's got to get back into the flow here more.
That's exactly right. A great player like Doc is. He's seen Bird score down one end off him. Here's Bird's move. Gets Doc faked out. Doc never even thought he would shoot that shot. He makes the basket. Come back down the floor. Doc says it's my turn. He takes the ball right away, and he gets fouled, and he's got 2 foul shots.
And we're going to be seeing a lot more of Doc, I have a hunch, right here. They're in the penalty now. The Celtics have committed their 15th foul, leading 47-40. And Julius Irving, who has 9 points in the game, 3 for 4 from the field, 2 rebounds and 2 assists, makes 1 out of 2. 6.5 minutes remaining in the first half. The Celtics lead. Irving with the penalty right now. Julius scored 45 against the Celtics on November 1st. His other games weren't too bad either, at 35 and 33. McHale, Dawkins watching him, Henderson, Bird, and travels. Couldn't put the fake on Irving there. And
that's a play they usually let go by in the NBA. Walking seems to be allowed a little bit much more in the NBA than it is in college. That was the first time that Philadelphia trapped. They full court pressed, and it got a turnover by the Bird.
Mix outside. Guarded by Bird, loops it to Clint Richardson. McHale is on Irving. Double team, that's what you got to do, trap him. But he can find an open man. He goes out to Cheeks. 5 seconds on the clock. And Mix goes to the hoop and puts it up. Dawkins crashes the boards. And they're going to be calling, they call out a basket. No basket, a loose ball foul against Dawkins, I guess.
This is, Dawkins is following up a missed shot. And he goes way over the basket. And this was a very, very good call by Jack Madden, even though everybody in the building does not like it. He made a great call. I think it looked like an offensive foul on Dawkins, but he was hit on his arm, and it was a great call by Jack Madden.
Kevin McHale has committed his 3rd personal foul. Underneath.
McHale gets Dawkins on the arm, and it's very obvious he was fouled. But Dawkins did grab the rim, and that could be a technical ball. I don't like him calling that play down.
Dawkins gets them both. He has 10 points in the game. Dr. J with 11 leads Philadelphia. A 3-point Boston lead. Inside and a whistle. No basket. And a foul against Philadelphia. And it looks like Dawkins has been hit with another foul as his 2nd personal. And for Philadelphia, they are still outside the penalty area. So the Celtics will inbound. That's either the 3rd or the 4th team foul. That's the 4th. 5:46 remaining in the first half. Philly held the early lead, ran off to an 8-0 spurt. Then Boston outscored Philadelphia by 14 and went off at the quarter by 4. Had the lead up to 8, and now it's down to 3 again.
Now it's a technical foul against Philadelphia for the zone defense. This is just a situation where they called it on Boston the first time, so now they called it on Philadelphia. Now they won't call it anymore. So they made it up. Each team has had its own defense call against them. I doubt, unless it's totally obvious, whether you'll see another defensive call on a zone in the game.
So Tiny hit the tee, and a 4-point Boston lead now. Clint Richardson is guarding Archibald. Gerald Henderson loops it. Irving got a piece of it, and Dawkins has it. Sixers want to run. They want to push the ball up the court. Cheeks is guarded by Henderson. Dawkins against Roby, going baseline. Stepped on the line. Turns it over, and Cunningham doesn't like it. Don't forget later on, the Lakers with Magic Johnson back in the lineup. They defeated the New Jersey Nets Friday night in a close game in Los Angeles. Will go against Phoenix at the Forum following this game. Henderson used a screen by McHale, deflected away by Cheeks. Check the zone.
If he's in the middle there for 3 seconds where Dawkins is, it's a zone, but they'll be in the middle later on in the game for 3 seconds, and it won't be called.
McHale turned around about 12 feet from the basket. Turnaround shot gives the Celtics a 6-point lead with under 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Henderson on Cheeks. McHale doing a good job on Irving. Basically fronting him. Dawkins gets it back now to Clint Richardson. Crashing the board is Irving, and they'll call a loose ball foul on the Doc.
Doc was over the shoulder that time, and that was a good call.
Is Doc frustrated?
There goes Doc right over McHale's shoulder, and I think Doc right now would like to have the ball a little bit more on the offensive end. They haven't gone to him as much as he usually sees the ball.
Bobby Jones back in the game. 6-point lead, Boston. Archibald. Henderson wasn't ready for that pass. Bird with the jump shot. Larry Bird, what a brilliant first half. He has 16 points. And once again, the Celtics have the 8-point lead, which matches their biggest margin of the game. Doc trying to get it. He has it low against McHale, but Bird has a deflection and a steal, and a 3-on-2. Archibald himself. Not that time. Cheeks saves it to Doc. Doc has one man to beat. Finds Jones, and Philly gets the measure at the other end. We're seeing some acrobatic plays at both ends.
That was a great pass by Doc. It looked easy, but it was absolutely a tremendous pass.
Under 4 minutes to go, first half. 6-point lead for the Boston Celtics, trying to narrow the Atlantic Division margin. He's on the line, turn it back. Here is how it went the other way, both ends.
It's Tiny on the break, misses the layup. Tapped out to Cheeks, to Doc, and this is a great pass Doc makes. It looks easy. Not many guys could do that in professional basketball. It's a great pass.
You double-team Doc, he'll find the open man, and that's why you really have to keep him outside. Of course, that was the fast break situation, and once he gets going with it, he's tough to stop. Moving on McHale is Irving. McHale the rebound. Good defense by Kevin, the rookie from Minnesota. Dave Cowens at halftime, along with other features for you. We have 3 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the half. Knocked away by Dawkins. Pass intended for Roby inside. Bobby Jones in the corner, deflected. Irving. Over Bird. And Irving not getting any respect, passes, or what have you, or fouls. Roby reverse layup, but it was all made possible by Nate Archibald.
Tiny had real excellent penetration, went right down the middle and made an outstanding pass. But right now, Philadelphia is not playing a real good half-court game. And if you want to see a zone, Boston's been in a zone the last two times down the floor, and it hasn't been called. But it's just a sagging defense. It's really not a straight zone.
Well, you say they won't call it. There's a foul. Roby upset with that one.
Great pass by Tony. Roby, a spin around layup. Again, Dawkins, I think, kind of relaxed on the play. He could have been a little bit more aggressive.
Boston calls the timeout, and they're sitting pretty right now with 2:38 to go in the first half. The action continues next Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular. You'll see American and Mexican teams in a breathtaking diving competition off the jagged cliffs of Acapulco. That plus the men's World Speed Skating Championships from Oslo, Norway. I covered that event in a dramatic finish. Be there next Saturday for Speed on Ice and Daring Under the Sun. Starts at 5 Eastern, 4 Central and Pacific on CBS Sports. The bench is such an important part of this game, and Philadelphia's outscored the Celtics 10-9 with the players coming off the bench. As far as foul trouble is concerned, Roby and McHale are the only ones in the game with 3 fouls, as Dawkins, who had a season's high at 24 against Boston, hits the first free throw. Both teams in the penalty now, and a 7-point Boston lead with 2:38 to go in the first half. 2 best records in the league squaring off here. Celtics would like to narrow it to a game and a half. If Philly wins and makes it 3.5, beating the Celtics in their home court, that could just about put the nail.
This is a bigger game, Dick, for Boston, actually, because if they go down 3.5, they could be out of it for the first division championship.
Henderson pulls up against Andrew Toney, misses the shot. So Dawkins is in there. In the backcourt, you have Cheeks and Toney. You have Irving, Jones, and Dawkins in the middle. Celtics have Henderson and Archibald at guard. Dawkins, he was effective in the first quarter with the outside shooting, and now going to it again, has 14 points to lead the team. In a crowd, McHale winds up with it and finds Roby inside.
Nice pass by McHale. He's really a fine young basketball player. He's got long arms, can block shots, and he's really a surprising player. You don't think he's really doing a great job out there that he is. He's playing Dr. J right now.
All right, 1:44 to go. Bird overplays Jones. Cheeks is open, and Maurice Cheeks it. 7 points for Cheeks. 4-point lead. Philadelphia staying with the Celtics with 1:25 to go. Archibald, they let him go in.
That's very poor defensive, team defense that time, which you don't see by Philadelphia very often. They just let him go driving right down the middle. You have to make Tiny pay the price. If he's going to go down there, you really got to be a little bit more physical than they were in that play.
Irving wants the ball, wants to get into the flow on offense. He has scored 11 points, but they have not been necessarily key points. They have been scattered. Bird, however, is doing everything as he gets 2 more.
Exactly. I think right now Doc's shooting is a little off, and they're double teaming him almost every time down the floor when he catches the ball. So, and Bird is hitting a long jumper. Right now, I think Bird is having the best of the duel.
18 points for Larry Bird. Under a minute to go. 41 seconds to be exact. Bird gets the rebound. He's passing off inside. The long passes, rebounding at both ends and hitting from outside. Archibald, who's playing a superb game at point guard, and McHale goes up, but a foul called against Philadelphia. There's the time remaining here in the second quarter, and the Celtics, with an 8-point lead, could move out to their biggest lead of the game right here. Dr. J now has 3 personal fouls, and he goes out, and as far as the first half is concerned, it's just not his day.
No, it really hasn't been Dr. J's day yet, but there's still another half left.
Willis Reed feature at halftime. Dave Cowens, another outstanding center. Kevin Lockery and I will talk about the playoff picture. Clarify it for you and do a little crystal ball gazing, even though we have a good month to go before the playoffs get underway. McHale, part of a gamble deal by the Boston Celtics. They traded their #1 draft choice and got Parrish. A lot of people thought it was not a good deal, and they picked up the #3 pick, which turned out to be McHale, and Parrish turned out to be a defensive wizard. No one expected.
Parrish has done a great job. It was a questionable trade. Philadelphia should go for 1 shot right now. There's 17 seconds left, but the rookie took it to the basket a little early.
We'll have a foul, no basket, with 16 seconds to go and a 10-point lead. Gerald Henderson commits the foul, and so Toney will go to the line to shoot. Caldwell Jones and Lionel Hollins quickly put in by Billy C.
I would look to maybe Philadelphia off the foul shots, particularly if Toney makes the foul shots. We'll go into full court pressure and try to trap in the full court with maybe Caldwell Jones taking the man out of bounds. Bobby Jones is very good in the front court stealing balls. I look for maybe a trap to make Boston use up some time, or else even go for the full out steal right now.
Toney hits them both. 62-54, 15 seconds to go. Celtics bring it across. 10 seconds. They have all of that clock to use. Bird, baseline. He's done it all. short this time. Rebound knocked away with 2 seconds on the clock. Philadelphia has it with 2 seconds to go. Caldwell Jones will inbound. And Roby will give him all he can handle. They get it in to Tony, and the buzzer's going to sound before he gets the shot off. It would not have counted, and that is the end of the first half. Here in Boston Garden, and Billy C. has some things to talk about and think over, and one of them is to find a way to get Dr. J on track, as the Celtics lead at 62-54 after holding a 4-point lead at the quarter. And it's the kind of game we anticipated, with the bench and the matchups off the bench playing such an important role.
I think you're right, Dick. I think the people off the bench like McHale and Roby have done a great job for Boston. I think they've outplayed the bench of Philadelphia, and that's been the difference in the ball game so far. Also Bird.
Game the Celtics need badly. They're leading at halftime. Drafted him out of Florida State as a center. Everyone said he's going to be too small to play center. Well, he really didn't play center. He played all over the court. He roamed around. He was a tremendously aggressive ball player, and he led the Celtics to the MVP. He was Rookie of the Year. He was MVP in the All-Star game. So Dave Cowens, without question, one of the brilliant players to wear the green and white of the Boston Celtics. Cowens revolutionized his center position with a roaming, all-out aggressive style that captivated the crowds and stymied Boston's opponents. And when he retired before the start of the season, he had received virtually every NBA award. And that's why on February 8th, it was Dave Cowens' turn to join a distinguished group of basketball greats.
It's an honor for me to be identified as a Boston Celtic. And you fans made it very easy for me to play hard. From the choice seat people up to the heavens, the gala guys.
And they saluted Dave Cowens the only way they knew how, by retiring his uniform number and hoisting his number 18 to the rafters. And here he is, Dave Cowens, who was honored here by the fans at Boston Garden. Of course, I had the pleasure of being in Boston when Dave came in, and just wow, you really did revolutionize the center position. And what I liked about you is the fact that you were your own man. When you wanted not to play, you didn't play. The fact that you retired instead of going on and on was another reflection of your character. But I think the fans want to know, what's Dave Cowens going to do now? You're a young man, you got a family. What happened?
Well, I've just picked up some odd jobs along the way.
Taxi driving?
Oh, none of that stuff. Fairly substantial, and I'm involved. Made some contacts while I was a player, and involved in a couple of businesses. And I've taken a job as athletic director at a small girls' school in Weston, and just keeping fairly busy, trying to stay in a little bit of shape.
All right, you're doing that now, but you've got, I'm sure, a feeling that down the line you want to put your teeth into something, and you want to get into something and make it your life's work. Have you thought about that, Dave?
I really don't know. I thought 10 years was a long time to hold a steady job, as a ball player, and I don't know that I'm going to do anything for that long of a time. Right now I'm just interested in administrative skills, and just want to enjoy myself a bit.
Would you like to coach in the teaching level? Could you do that as a full-time thing?
I think so, but right now I just want to get away from basketball and get involved with some other things,
Dave, when you came up, I know that you were not enamored with all of the attention. You wanted your privacy, and basically you kept your privacy. Do you think as time went on, you got away from that in a positive point to the thing that you are now able to handle the adulation by the people? It was evident when you gave your speech when they retired your number. Do you think you've changed a little bit?
Well, you just have to face reality, and you have to understand what people want from you as a public figure, and I think I went along with that. Sometimes I thought the infringement on private time was a bit too much, and I resisted that. And I think you just have to use common sense in both parties, both the people doing the covering and the person that they want to cover. And usually, most of the guys that I ever worked with from the media were very good and responsible people. There was a couple of times when I thought they overstepped their bounds. And I try to cooperate, for the most part, but it's difficult when you're going after a game and you throw yourself into it as much as the players do in the pros, to go in and be kind of objective and to be able to answer questions that sometimes are insulting, sometimes are trivial, and, you just have to deal with that on an emotional level.
Dave, you won't have to do that anymore, and good luck whatever you do, even if you don't go back to driving a cab, okay?
Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Okay. Dave Cowens, outstanding center for the Boston Celtics. And, of course, talking about great centers in the 60s and 70s, the New York Knickerbockers had one. His name was Willis Reed, and he led the New York Knicks to a pair of world championships, the subject of our rebound feature this week.
Old Spice presents Rebound, brought to you by Old Spice Aftershave, the fresh, clean scent women love.
A fearless 6-foot 9-inch center from Grambling College, Willis Reed first wore a New York Knicks uniform in 1964. Reed was always a brute near the basket, and his explosive picks could shatter an opponent's fillings. But Willis also had a sweet shooting touch from 15 feet. Whenever the intricate Knicks offense turned sour, the ball was entrusted to Captain Willis. The ever-scowling Reed was also the rock in the middle of New York's defense, and foolhardy opponents often paid a cruel price for driving too boldly down the middle. In 1970, the Knicks roared to their first NBA championship, and Reed was honored as the league's most valuable player. When Reed played on a crippled leg in the deciding game of the 1973 championship series, he scored only 4 points. But his ferocious courage intimidated Wilt Chamberlain and the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Miracle Knicks were champs again. A surgical knee limited his career to 10 seasons, and although he was never the biggest, quickest, or strongest of his peers, Willis Reed was always a warrior, and every play of every game was always a war.
The NBA on CBS is sponsored by Lowenbrau. When it's time for the taste of a truly great beer, let it be Lowenbrau. Subaru, inexpensive and built to stay that way. And by RCA's Color Track. Getting the color right is what Color Track is all about.
The 19th sellout of the season in Boston Garden for the Celtics, their 13th in a row. And they have had a marvelous season as you look at the halftime statistics. And when you shoot 58%, you're going to have the lead, Kevin.
Yeah, I think the difference definitely, Dick, in the basketball game is Larry Bird. He's done just about everything you could ask of a player in the first half. He's played the entire first half. He's had 11 rebounds. He's had 18 points, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 3 turnovers only, and he's just played an unbelievably great basketball game.
You know, Rick Roby is 3 for 4 from the field, so he is continuing his outstanding shooting from the field as you look at the overall scoring.
Right, particularly for a man coming off the bench. The game runs and the game is streaks. He's on a hot streak right now, and I would assume that Boston will use him quite a bit in the second half. Dr.
J is only 3 for 7 from the field for 11 points. Dawkins is, as Billy Cunningham told us, they wanted to go to him early, and they did. He had 14 points to lead, but they're shooting 46% right now, and they've turned the ball over too many times.
Sometimes, Dick, when you go to one man too much early in the game, it takes away from the continuity of your offense. They think that's why Doc has only gotten 7 points. Also, Maxwell's done a pretty good job.
Caldwell Jones challenges Larry Bird and gets the points for Philadelphia. And it's 62-56 in the opening moments here. We're underway in the third quarter. Dick Stockton along with Kevin Lockery here at Boston Garden. And a steal by Tony, and it's out of bounds. And they call it Philadelphia ball. So good hustle by the rookie Andrew Toney. There's the stopwatch.
Bill Fitch has got a stopwatch. I really don't know what the Casey Jones has a stopwatch now. I'm really not exactly sure what they're going to do with it on the bench, but it might have something to do with his own defense.
Tony in the corner passes into Doc J, and Irving has the basket. So Irving, Philadelphia coming out strong. They open the game with the first 8 points, and now the crowd wants the Celtics to get unraveled. 13 points for Dr. J. And it's a 4-point game. 3-point attempt. It's good by Ford. That's his second of the game. Chris Ford hits his second home run, and it's 10 points for Ford, and the Celtics are up again 65-58. Mo Cheeks in the backcourt with Andrew Toney. Dawkins the center. He didn't take the shot at first. Now he does, and the hesitation might have cost him.
Invariably, when you turn his shot down the first time and take it back, you'll miss it.
Pulling up his arch ball. The basket counts and a foul, and he was knocked to the deck. So Tiny comes back with a pair, and he'll go to the line. The personal foul is on Cheeks, and that's his third personal. At the conclusion of today's game, in each of our NBA telecasts during the season, we select the Miller Most Valuable Player of the Game. In conjunction with this award, Miller will present a check for $1,000 to the Special Olympics organization in the name of the player selected. Well, Kevin, you and I will be voting for the MVP, and today's winner will be announced at the end of the telecast, and I hope we agree, because we don't have anyone to break the tie.
Right.
Doc J, what a move.
If he plays like that, he's got a good shot at being the MVP.
8-point lead for the Celtics. Opening minutes here. And coming right back is Larry Bird. 20 points for Larry Bird. Parrish did not play much of the second quarter. Roby did a tremendous job, knocks the ball away from Dawkins.
That's a good job also right there on Parrish, fighting inside position with Dawkins. Dawkins very physical, but Parrish fought him all the way and is able to knock the ball out of bounds.
Parrish played only 11 minutes. Offensive foul call.
Andrew Toney pushed off Maxwell. Very good call by Jack Madden that time. He pushed off Maxwell. It was a good call.
Toney now has 3 personal fouls. So Philadelphia has a bunch of people with 3. Archibald and Ford in the backcourt. Parrish are playing a high post now. Maxwell and Bird shooting over Caldwell Jones. Irving fighting Maxwell, and Dawkins comes out with it. Better give it to a ball game. Traveling. Jack Madden says no, and he was right on top of the play. Cheeks. Caldwell setting a screen outside, and now we have a whistle, and there's a turnover.
That's another offensive foul by Andrew Toney. He picked up 2 cheap fouls the same way by pushing off.
So we're going to have a break right now, and Philadelphia looks like they were starting to get untracked, and they can't. We'll be back. To see him back. Johnny Miller, once again a force on the Pro Golf Tour. Inverary Golf next week on CBS. Lionel Hollins checks into the game. Close game. Atlanta leading Seattle by a point, third period. Archibald guarded by Cheeks. Ford watched by Hollins. Bird with Caldwell Jones. Loops it to Parrish. Good pass by Larry Bird. And Parrish a little hard off the glass. And they missed an easy 2 there. Cheeks coming right back for Philadelphia. 10-point lead for the Boston Celtics. Caldwell Jones. Missed inside. Maxwell and Dawkins both looking at Wally Rooney. Here's Parrish and Dawkins.
They're very physical inside. It's a good pass by Bird. Parrish misses the easiest shot, but you miss the easy shot sometimes because it was very physical before the play. They're back at it again, pushing one another.
Hollins came in because Toney committed the foul, his 4th of the game. Parrish hits outside. Robert Parrish.
He misses the layup and then shoots a 15, 18-foot fadeaway jump, and it goes in. Funny game sometimes.
Celtics with their biggest lead now, 72-60, with 8:45 remaining third quarter. Roby and McHale for the Celtics have 3 personals. Dr. J and Mo Cheeks have 3, and Toney 4 for the 76ers. Caldwell Jones out to Irving. Maxwell is watching him. Dawkins sets a screen for the Doc. 3 seconds on the clock. Reverse layoff spins away. And now Tiny Archibald goes right past Dawkins, and they call a backcourt foul on Dawkins. 2 shots.
Right now, Dick, Philadelphia is really standing around on offense. And right here's a backcourt foul by Dawkins. He reaches in. He hardly touches Tiny, but Dawkins doesn't have to touch it very hard to get a foul, and he knocks Tiny over. I think Tiny pulled his hamstring. His hamstring is taped a little bit, and he got injured a little bit.
Bobby Jones checks in the ball game for Philadelphia. As you look at Milwaukee opening up a big lead over Washington, 83-65, as Billy Cunningham trying to get the right combination. And the Celtics have prevailed despite a poor day from the free throw line. As you look at Dawkins on the bench. Jones, who had that's Bobby Jones, who had 6 points, but just a good all-around man.
They need a lift off the bench right now, Philadelphia. The way they're playing is they will get beaten this game if they continue to play this style. And they need to get a couple of fast breaks or some exciting plays to get them rolling.
And Billy brought Toney back with 4 personal fouls, so he's gone for it here. 8:15 to go, third quarter, 12-point lead. Irving pulls up and pass to Jones, and they'll call a foul. It'll be against the Celtics. It'll be their second team foul, and for Chris Ford, his first personal.
As soon as Doc goes to drive, they double and triple team him, and they get back. It's not a zone, it's a sagging man-to-man, and they called it zone before, but it is a sagging man-to-man where everybody falls back in the lane, and it's tough for Doc to drive down in the middle against 2 and 3 people.
Caldwell Jones out to Hollins. Archibald on him. Hollins off the mark. Irving had it. Bird picks it up. Celtics are getting more of the loose balls today, too. Archibald. Tiny. Stop and go play.
Philadelphia needs a timeout right now and try to get their game together. They're going to go into a movement situation on offense and just try to get everybody moving, but they're really having some trouble getting their offense together.
You know, you can come back from a big margin against a lot of ball clubs, but against Boston, it wouldn't be that easy. But Bobby Jones hits a jump shot, and it's a 12-point game again, 7:35 to go, and they're sluggish out there.
With any one team that can come back quickly, though, Philadelphia is the ball club with the type people they have on the floor.
Ford missed the shot. They try to save it, and they'll go out to Tony. It's 2-on-2. Andrew Toney against Bird. Drive in. Parrish interfered with it above the cylinder, and that'll count for 2 points for Philadelphia. And a good call by Wally Rooney.
Very good call by Wally Rooney, but it's unusual that the underneath official will call that play. It's usually the call for the outside official, but in this case, here comes Parrish over the rim, grabs the ball off the rim. Very good call by Wally Rooney.
10-point lead. Celtics were up by 8 at the half. Maxwell goes to the hoop. Irving got a piece of it. Now here comes Tony. Celtics are back on defense. Tony goes in. Irving, he is just a man-possessed second and third efforts. And that's what the Celtics or the 76ers have to do. And that is play with abandon. And that's what Doc did there.
I think that's why they brought Tony and Doc back in the game. And they're going to push the ball up the floor. And they've scored 6 straight points.
Sunday afternoon, nothing like coming to Boston Garden to watch your favorite team. CBS Sports doubleheader. Coming up next, the Phoenix Suns against the Los Angeles Lakers. A lot of shades of green, and there's a dark green color right there. Bill Fitch, who wasn't pleased with the foul on Bird, his third personal, and Dr. J going to the line. Philadelphia has missed only 1 from the line all afternoon. The Celtics have missed 9. Hasn't hurt the Celtics on the board, though, although you could figure that they'd have a much bigger lead if they had connected on most of those, and now it's a 9-point game.
This has gone from 14 points to possibly 8 points in about 40 seconds. That's the kind of explosive team that Philadelphia is.
And another one knocked off the lead. Boston's biggest lead was 14 points here in the third quarter. Philadelphia ran off the first 8. 74-66, 6:45 remaining third quarter. Bird outside, watched by Bobby Jones. All defensive team, 4 years. Parrish, make a sandwich out of him. Deflection by Jones. Tough defense now. They got 1 second to go, and it's missed by Ford, but Parrish keeps it alive. And Parrish turns around, and no one guarded him. 76ers may be fortunate there that Parrish missed that shot, but we have a foul on Maxwell.
On Maxwell, his Parrish taking an easy jump shot, misses the shot, but he goes back after it, and they call the foul, a loose ball foul on Maxwell. There won't be any foul shot.
3 team fouls on the Celtics, 2 on Philadelphia. Don't forget, we'll have the MVP at the conclusion of the ball game. And a foul on Larry Bird, I believe. That's number 4 on Bird, and Rick Roby is coming in. Parrish is going out, but Bird has 4 fouls.
This could be a very critical time in the game. If Bill looks like he's going to go with Bird with 4 fouls, you can't have him pick up the 4th. This is a critical stage of the game right now for Boston.
They call it on Ford. Second. And they picked up a couple. They're in the penalty now. And that's really the foul you don't want.
Exactly right. They're in a penalty. Tony's an excellent foul shooter. So they almost given away 2 points. And it's an unusual call by Jack Madden. He usually allows a little bit more physical play. I think Bill Fitch is upset about that. But again, you can't hand check in professional basketball. They've taken hand checking out of the game. But Ford is saying that Tony's hand checking on the other end. But he misses both fouls. No one's hurt.
That hurt. missed them both just when I was about to remark that perhaps the flow is changing a little bit with Bird with 4 fouls and the Sixers coming back like this with a lot of time. 8-point Boston lead. Maxwell goes in, and they call a foul on Philadelphia.
That was a very close call, but once you reach in, Doc reaches in on the play, and once you reach in, they have to call it a foul instead of a charge.
4 fouls on Dr. J.
This will be Doc reaching in. Once he goes to reach in, it's a foul. You can't see the officials in the way, but if you reach in, it'll be a foul. If you just hold your hands out straight up in the air, then they'll call it a charge. And I think it was a good call, and that's the 4th foul on Doc. That's another critical situation in the ball game.
Mix comes in the ball game replacing Irving. So unlike Bill Fitch, who's playing Bird with 4 fouls, Billy Cunningham wants Irving out of there with 4 fouls. Bird puts the fake on Bobby Jones, but Mix does a heck of a job defensively picking up. Missed shot, Philadelphia coming back, narrowing the lead. Jones goes to the hoop, and they call the offensive foul.
That was a good call. Bobby Jones was out of control a little bit going to the basket, and Bird took the charge. Another credit to Larry Bird. 4 fouls. He's not reluctant to jump in and takes the charge. Here's Bird jumping in, gets position. Excellent call. Gets position, takes the foul, and takes a pretty good hit. You don't get too many superstars making that play.
Foul trouble. Some pretty good players among those people, and a good-looking rookie. Philadelphia has reeled off 6 straight points. Bird driving to the hoop, goes up without the ball, and a foul before he went up.
That's before the shot. It wouldn't be a shooting foul, and that puts Philadelphia with 4 fouls. The next one, they'll be in a penalty. Now both teams will be in a penalty for the rest of the period, which is 5 minutes, which will cause a lot of foul shooting in the period, and it might end up a little higher scoring game than we anticipated.
3 personals on Bobby Jones now. Roby loops it into Maxwell, tough inside, still Boston ball.
Good team defense. Hollins came in to help out, stole the ball, because Maxwell had Mix beat.
Maxwell and Bobby Jones tries to hit it off Larry Bird. Good anticipation.
This is going to be the 5th
foul
ball
on Bird. That's number 5. And now the question comes to play about Bill Fitch. Is he second-guessing himself for keeping Bird in with 4 personal fouls?
No, I don't think so. I think both coaches are outstanding coaches we have here today. Bill Fitch, one of the best. I believe he made the right move in his own mind to keep Bird in the ball game. It's just unfortunate that it had to be a loose ball foul. And to be honest with you, sometimes your star players do not get that 5th or 6th foul call on a foul like that. But again, looking at the play, I think Bird did push him out of bounds.
Bird has 20 points, 9 for 13 from the field. He's been the heart and soul of the Celtics today. And because the Celtics are in the penalty, Bobby Jones has a chance to shave another point off the Celtic lead. Could be 6 points if Jones connects here with 5:05 remaining in the 3rd quarter, and he makes it.
Well, it's 6 points, Dick, when Bird went out at 74-68. Let's see what happens, how the game develops with Bird on the bench.
Archibald seeing a lot of action. McHale, who came in for Bird, misses the shot, and the rebound by Tony. So Philadelphia, even though Tony missed those 2 free throws back there, have kept the momentum going for them.
They've cut it from 14-6, and it swung around, and Parrish is going to be back in the game immediately.
And the Garden is quieted down to a whisper. Jones, left-handed hook shot, and now Philadelphia trails by 4, 74-70. 10 straight points for the 76ers, who would love to just about bury the Celtics as far as first place in the Atlantic Division. They could be up by 3.5 with a victory today, winning on the opposite court. They look for Roby inside against Caldwell Jones, and it drops for a big point for the Celtics as they end a 10-point string for Philadelphia. Roby has 9 points. Archibald has 12. Parrish has 12. Bird has 20 to lead Boston. 17 for Dr. J. Offensive foul at the other end.
Another offensive foul on Bobby Jones, and another good call. Cornbread Maxwell got there, got his position, and got the charge. Here's Billy. Both Billies, Billy C. and Bill Fitch, are up along the sidelines, and the game is getting down now. We're in the late part of the 3rd period where coaching really gets involved.
All right.
More so than any other part of the game.
And that's where you're going to get involved even more so, because this is a coach's game. Parrish, of course, comes in replacing Roby. Maxwell with a screen. Out to Ford. And we have a foul. What are you thinking now as a coach, knowing who's on the bench, who you need, as you have 3:44 to go in the third? What are you looking ahead to?
They both have big decisions to make. Billy C. a little bit larger decision than Bill Fitch has because he's down in the ball game. But you have to get Doc back in the game at some time. Here's the pushing between Dawkins and Parrish. They usually will call the foul on the most aggressive players, the one that has the most aggressive reputation, and that time it's Dawkins, and he did kind of hook Parrish. But when you're pushing back and forth like that, you can almost make a decision on either player for the foul.
Dawkins' foul was his third, and Parrish connects. 3:40 remaining third quarter, 8-point lead for the Celtics after Philadelphia narrowed the 14-point lead to 4 with a 10-point spurt. Mix, tough outside, looking into Dawkins. Maxwell giving Parrish some help, and Mix can't hit from outside. Sixers usually get a lot of production from Mix quickly when he enters the game from outside. Parrish goes up against Dawkins. Didn't look like a wise shot when he first went up, Kevin.
That's a great shot by Parrish, and that's something we've never seen him do in the past, because he faced up the basket, took the fadeaway jump shot. Billy C. makes the timeout right now. I would kind of think that eventually he's going to have to get Doc back in the game.
And Parrish has 16. This is a 20-second timeout, and diagramming the play.
They've changed this. They used to call this an injury timeout. We as coaches used to take advantage of the injury timeout, so they just really have changed the terminology and make it just a regular 20-second timeout, and it's good to use.
When do you bring Doc back in?
I think at 12 points, you have to get him back in the game, and if you can stay under the 10-point level going into the fourth period, then you bring him back. But if it gets to 12, I'd have to rush him back in the ball game.
Two teams with very deep benches, and that will serve them well when the playoffs come around.
Exactly right. I think Billy C. has told us before the game that he's using 4 guards just in case one of them gets injured and they have to go with another guard in the playoffs, and he's prepared for that, so he'll have the playing time. Basically, Boston's gone with 3 guards and almost 2 guards the whole game.
So Billy a little bit keeping one eye on the playoffs.
Exactly
and,
right.
And how they're getting prepared. Dawkins, you can't do anything about that, not even Parrish.
That's the high percentage play. You can't diagram a play any better than that. That was a great 20-second timeout by Billy C.
8-point lead for the Celtics, 2:45. Parrish, who hit before outside, and both of the big guys have been able to hit from outside in this game. Parrish has 18 points, Dawkins has 16, many of them coming from outside. And once again, the Celtics have that 10-point lead, so maybe you got to keep possibility of bringing Dr. J back in. Let's see what happens. Mix with 2:28 goes to Caldwell Jones. Tony is fouled by Ford. Doesn't agree with it, and now Fitch comes running off the bench.
Bill Fitch, no Ford like the call. Bill Fitch already has 1 technical. He's got to be very careful. 1 more technical, and he'll be dismissed from the game. And he's got to be very careful right now, and I think he is.
Well, they called 1 foul before on Chris Ford where he hardly touched him, but this time he definitely did. And so a 10-point lead. We'll be back with 2:24 remaining in the third. Night on CBS starts with 60 Minutes, and then it was a dream house. But what made a family flee for their lives? The Amityville Horror, starring James Brolin, Margot Kidder, and Rod Steiger. It's all tonight on CBS. Well, not only do we have Dr. J still on the bench, but Mo Cheeks is still there too, as you see them on the Philadelphia bench, and I guess Billy C's substitutions may be more critical than Bill Fitch's at this point.
Well, I think Bill Fitch got 10 points, so going to be 8 points to work with, and I think Billy has the bigger decisions to make. But when you have good basketball teams and good talent and good coaching, they have confidence in their players, and they're still relaxed on the Philadelphia side. Some clubs will get down 10 points and it's immediate panic time, and you got Larry Bird with 5 fouls. If the game tightens up, then Bill Fitch has a big decision when to get Larry Bird back in the game.
Milwaukee opening up against Washington around the NBA in their game this afternoon. 2:15 remaining. 8-point game. McHale turnaround is short, but Parrish trying to keep it alive. Philadelphia trying to narrow it. These gaining time with Irving on the bench. If Philadelphia can narrow that lead.
Exactly right.
And a foul away from the ball against McHale.
This is going to be against Parrish. The foul's off the ball on Parrish. It'll be a shooting foul, 2 shots. And again, this gives Philadelphia a chance to cut to 6 points. They've called zone. Called zone again. Excuse me.
Zone defense. because they've got the zone technical as well as the tee on Fitch.
The second technical for a zone is 2 foul shots. Mix has missed the first one. I was very surprised at this call. They had Parrish off the ball, and I think he was playing straight up pretty good defense. Now Bill Fitch has been thrown out of the game, so Mix is getting a chance to practice some foul shooting.
And Fitch is going to have a chance to look at some videotapes.
Right here. Here's the the replay right now. We'll see Parrish off the ball. 1001, 1002. Can't see him in the picture, but he's probably still in the lane. They just called it.
He was there.
I still think that's basic, pretty good defense.
2 technicals.
2 technicals for Bill Fitch. He's gone. Now Jack Madden's just given so many seconds for Bill Fitch to leave. I think he's given Bill Fitch another technical, and that would mean he's ejected from the ball game.
Billy just looked over to Wally Rooney and said, doesn't he have to get out of here?
I tell you one thing, I've had some real good run-ins with Jack Madden, and he's not the official to mess with. If he throws you out of the game, I think it's time to leave. He doesn't want anybody involved.
Jimmy Rogers, a technical foul. They give Jimmy Rogers, Fitch's assistant coach, a team.
He gave him 2 technical fouls for putting his hands on him. Now Casey Jones will take over the club. This could have a dramatic turnabout about the game.
Kevin, are they doing this for you?
I tell you one thing, Dick. This gives me a good chance to view my points on technical fouls. I don't think they should be shot. I think the fine should be bigger, and they should not allow the foul shots to be taken and give points to their opponent for no reason at all.
In other words, you feel they're away from the actual playing of the game.
Exactly right. In baseball, the manager gets thrown out of the game. You never see a guy running around the bases with a home run, or in football, a guy get a field goal, free shot at a field goal. I don't believe we should allow the foul shots to be taken. I think increase the fine.
Well, Kevin Lockery's never had a chance to really say what he felt about the technical fouls, and what a graphic instance this afternoon at Boston Garden. The crowd gives Bill Fitch a hand as he leaves, and now we get back to the game, and Darryl Dawkins puts it up. Casey Jones is the coach of the Boston Celtics, and of course, he's been a head man before.
Great coach in Washington, had one of the better records to ever coach the game in Washington.
3-point lead for Boston, 135. In the third quarter, knocked away, and they'll call a foul. And it's on Lionel Hollins, but the complexion has changed, and there's a little acting by Billy C.
Billy C. wasn't sure of that foul, but I'll tell you one thing, Jack Madden is one official that will not back down on the play and will not try to make up calls because he threw out 2 coaches. He'll still officiate the game the way it should be officiated.
Well, you know, you made a point, and it was a logical point early after they called the zone on both sides. You said we won't see it again, and I think you've got to say at least there's no such thing as an automatic, and the fact that they called it again is credit to them.
Exactly right. I think also it wasn't a zone really. It's sagging man-to-man defense. The officials need better guidelines in the league to find out what a zone is all about. I think they are hurt by not having distinct guidelines in the league.
McHale missed them both, of course, and now the Celtics still maintain control. 3-point lead. We should have a whale of a fourth quarter here at the Boston Garden. Cheeks blocks. Archibald and Lionel Hollins at the other end beats Parrish down in a 1-point game, 82-81, and upon a time, the Celtics had a 14-point lead. It's been narrowed to 1, and Casey Jones calls timeout. Bill Fitch has been tossed from the game. Jimmy Rogers has been tossed from the game, and we can expect a tremendous final quarter coming up, but we still have 1 minute and 11 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Next weekend, great golf at the Inverary Classic from Lauderhill, Florida. Defending champion Johnny Miller is expected back, and he's become once again a force to be reckoned with. 2 tournament wins so far this year, including last week's Los Angeles Open, leading money winner on the tour so far this year. So, if you go for the dramatic sports stories, don't miss the continuing saga of Johnny Miller's reemergence on the Pro Tour. It all starts next Saturday, 4 o'clock Eastern on CBS Sports. 76ers have outscored the Celtics 21-8 since Boston held the biggest lead of the game at 14. And the question is, who's going to have the flow last going forward?
Right now, they've done it with Dr. J on the bench also, and that's a tremendous compliment to the people they have on the floor right now, the Mixers and the Hollins that come off the bench and help the ball club win.
Well, that's what you said. If the 76ers could come back with Dr. J on the bench, it'd be a big plus. He still is on the bench at Philadelphia, trailing by a point. Dawkins, the rebound, could take the lead with under a minute to play in the third quarter. Exciting NBA action from Boston Garden. Hollins goes up, and Philadelphia has regained the lead, 83-82. Hope you're enjoying it on CBS. Dick Stockton and Kevin Lockrave, live from the Boston Garden, where the crowds are a little spellbound right now.
The coaching strategy has turned around 100%. Now it's up to when do you put Bird back in the game, not when do you put Doc back in the game.
Roby puts Boston in front, and keep in mind that Larry Bird on the bench has 5 personal fouls. 22 seconds, 20 to go now, 15 on the shot clock. Caldwell Jones to Mix. Mix will take the outside shot that Maxwell gives him. Roby boxes out. Dawkins, well, 8 seconds to go. Final seconds here, and 4. Good. With 4 seconds to go. Boston by 3, and that's it. Well, the Celtics came back after losing their lead, but I have a hunch we're going to see some fireworks coming up in the final quarter with Boston leading 86-83. Don't go away.
Basketball. It's a moving experience.
The preceding announcement was brought to you as a public service by the National Basketball Association. Chuck Daly on the left, Billy Cunningham as we start the fourth quarter, and all that's left on the Boston bench is Casey Jones as the Celtics have a 3-point lead. Final quarter of action. Gerald Henderson brings it up, number 43 for the Celtics, guarded by Mo Cheeks.
ML Carr's in the game for the first time today, and he's playing guard.
All right, we're going to talk about Carr, the turnover now, as Maxwell is all over Caldwell Jones. Bird with 20, Parrish with 18 are the high scorers for the Celtics. Dawkins with 18, Dr. J with 17 lead Philadelphia. And several players on both sides in double figures, but the fouls play a big game with Bird on the bench with 5. Caldwell Jones with Maxwell on him. Hollins goes inside to Dawkins, and they had a mismatch with Carr.
Again, that's the high percentage shot. Dawkins just slamming it down. He was in the lane a long time that time. It could have been called 3 seconds. But again, it was a nice pass. Good call by Billy Cunningham to run that play.
We're going to watch substitutions. We're going to look at fouls and timeouts here. Very important in the waning moments of the game as we get close, as we just start this now. And a foul as Cheeks will go to the line here.
It's 4th foul on Cheeks, and that could become a critical stage of the game, even though they're a little deeper with Tony and Richardson over there on the Philadelphia bench.
Richardson has not seen much action in this quarter. Of course, the foul was on Cheeks. He's not going to the line. Henderson is, and hits the first free throw. ML Carr has missed 41 games because of the broken foot. He's been back for about 19 since then, and the Celtics are going to need him in the playoffs because he gives them a defensive dimension in the backcourt.
Exactly right. Also in the front court, he can play the small forward, which is a tough position to play in this game. But he's playing backcourt with Henderson right now. It's be a pretty decent time for Philadelphia to put pressure on the guards.
McHale is watching Dawkins. Dawkins hit a few from outside, goes up there again, doesn't drop, and Roby the rebound. 3-point Boston lead. They're all big here. Henderson likes to put it up, as we told you earlier. Misses the shot. He just went down and looked to put it up. And now Cheeks in the corner to Lionel. Hollins, no one there. And McHale picks up the loose ball. Remember, Billy C. said, we've got to be patient. McHale firing away. You'll see a lot of McHale. The Celtics rely on him down the stretch, and I mean the last 3 or 4 minutes.
McHale's really good down the stretch. He's played a lot of games for a rookie in the big parts of the game, which means they have tremendous confidence in him.
5-point lead. Reverse layoff by Cheeks is good. And it's now 90-87. So we have Hollins defending in the backcourt along with Cheeks, Dawkins, Caldwell Jones, and Irving. 4 or 5 starters in the ball game. Hollins replacing Tony. ML Carr goes to the hoop. ML Carr, the veteran, gives Boston a big 2. He'll need him.
That's a great drive by ML Carr, but some of the big people should have reacted to the drive and picked them up. But Philadelphia let him drive right down the middle too easy.
Dr. J working on Maxwell, spins it up. Wild shot, but Dawkins standing there. Goaltending called against McHale.
Good call, very good call. The ball hit the basket and then he goaltended.
Kevin McHale right here.
Doc keeps the ball alive, gives it to Dawkins. Dawkins drives to the basket. The ball's on the board. Once he touches the board, he can't touch the ball anymore.
Well, we have a couple of goaltending. We got the shot blockers in this game. We haven't had too many of those, but they're there, and their presence can be felt. Henderson throws the ball away, mix up with ML Carr on the turnover. 9:24 remaining, fourth quarter. 3-point Boston lead, Philadelphia ball, and Tiny Archibald comes back in, and he'll play most of this quarter.
Right, they want to give Tiny just a little breather. They put him back. He'll go the remaining 9 minutes of the game. They're bringing back Parrish. He'll go probably the rest of the game, barring foul trouble. And again, the decision is when to get Bird back in the game, but as long as you're ahead, there's no need to rush him back in the game. He might pick up a 6th foul.
Cheeks runs Archibald into Caldwell Jones. Irving will take the outside shot. And ML Carr playing with abandon. And he's like a frisky colt, glad to be getting back into action more and more. A lot of people around here say Fitch is going to have to play ML a lot more now to get him ready for the playoffs. Tiny outside. Parrish is low with Dawkins. And a foul on Dawkins. That'll be number 4 on Dawkins.
Again, it's physical inside with Dawkins reaching in. Once you reach in, he'll reach across the man's arm. Here it comes. Once you reach in, they'll call the foul automatically, even if you get all ball. The official sees the reach in, and he looks for the foul immediately.
Andrew Toney, number 22, and Bobby Jones, 24, come back in the ball game as Cheeks sits down. They look to McHale, who's playing low. And a foul. Toney, that's number 5. Toney's 5th foul. So now Toney has 5. Dr. J, Darryl Dawkins, Bobby Jones, and Mo Cheeks each have 4. Bird has 5 for Boston, and no one else has 4 as Archibald goes to the line. And Cheeks, who was out for 1 play, comes back in.
It's not a bad play to come back in the game with Maurice Cheeks, who's their lead guard, and they'd have Hollins on the floor. So I think the depth at the guard spot is a little bit in the favor of the 76ers, but the front line might be a little bit in favor of Boston.
That's what Boston's done it all year with the front line. And McHale, big reason why. Jones on the miss. 8:40 remaining, fourth quarter, 93-89. Much higher scoring game than we had anticipated as Bobby Jones line drives that in there. 14 points for Bobby Jones now. Tiny over Cheeks. Caldwell Jones. Nice to have a 7-footer at forward.
It sure is. He can rebound the basketball.
Although he's playing the center spot right now, and they turn it over again. Key turnovers have hurt Philadelphia.
It really has been.
5 fouls for him.
Bird is anxious. He'd like to be back in the game, and there's some criticism about having to start players on the bench. And maybe if we didn't have the no foul, if we had the no foul rule, it would keep the stars in the game. I prefer that rule also, to keep the players in the game.
93-91. Maxwell going to the hoop. Fouled. Bobby Jones commits the foul, and that's number 5, I believe, on Bob. 5 fouls on Jones.
Bobby Jones again opens up to the ball defensive position pretty good, helps out. He picked up the foul because Maxwell got by his own man. It was just real good team defense on Bobby Jones's point that time. He got in the right position, he went for the block shot, and Maxwell made an extra move, and that's why he got fouled. But that was good defense by Bobby Jones outside of the foul. That's the 14th foul on the Sixers. The Celtics have not committed a team foul, and that could be a story as we get down to the finish. That really could play an important part. You have 8 minutes left in the basketball game. You're already in the penalty, and the other team hasn't had one foul shot yet. Mix replaces Bobby Jones, who goes out with 5. So Toney and Jones have 5. Dr. J and Cheeks have 4. Bird still on the bench with 5 fouls. And as long as the Celtics
are within range or in the lead as they are now by 3 points, although they miss another free throw. Casey Jones is going to keep him there. He'll bring him back at some point. We have under 8 minutes to go. Caldwell Jones misses. They fight for it, and Parrish knocks it away. Cheeks has it. Parrish knocked it away, and a good hustle by Cheeks. Moe firing right of the key. Mix in the right place at the right time, but the ball just doesn't drop for Philadelphia.
Exactly right. They had a couple of chances. Doc kept the first one alive. Then they got a third opportunity, and they didn't score. So Boston has called a timeout. KC has called a timeout.
All right, timeout now. 7:24 to go. We can start thinking of certain substitutions now, and we're going to see what the coaches have in the huddle perhaps when we come back. That's our score. Predicts that Milwaukee will be playing Philadelphia in the Eastern Conference Final. That's next week. And right now, Doc is guarding Larry Bird, who's back in the game. And Billy Cunningham exhorted his team to get on the boards, everybody, during that timeout.
Right. There's only 7 seconds left in the shot clock. Boston's got to get a shot off.
ML Carr takes the shot and hits it. 96-91, winding down to 7 minutes to go in the game, and these are crucial times.
Exactly right. ML Carr's done an excellent job at the guard spot coming off the bench. It was here's a screen by Bird. Back screen, picks off Cheeks, makes the basket possible. So Bird just about done everything in this game.
Dr. J out to Cheeks, who was open. Back inside to the Doc. And Mix inside.
Nice ball movement, unselfishness. Billy C likes to see the extra pass. That's when he feels the team's playing its best.
And you were just telling me during that break that you'd like to see Dr. J get in the offensive flow more.
But I think he will now. You have he's playing against Bird. I think that'll lift him up. I always like to see Doc against a challenge.
Parrish hits a big outside shot. 6.5 to play. 5-point lead and 20 points for Parrish. Larry Bird also has 20 points, and Dawkins, the game high scorer, with 22. Don't forget, coming up next, the Suns and the Lakers. Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar against the first place Suns. Hollins. And now Boston's doing it with defense. Carr. And Hollins all over him. ML misses, but Parrish is there, goes up and draws the foul. That's what they want.
Carr did an excellent job on the defensive end to block a Hollins jump shot. He missed an easy jump shot on the other end, but Parrish hustled, got the second shot. In this stage of the game, when you're down 5 points and 6 minutes left of the game, you cannot give second shots up. You're already in the penalty. Anytime you give up second shots, there usually is a foul right after it, and when you're in the penalty, it's costly.
You saw Casey Jones, and you wonder where Bill Fitch is. Well, he took a trip to look at the videotape when they called the zone on him early in the game. He came back and then picked up a technical, then he had another technical, another zone call, and he's been tossed out of the game, as has Jimmy Rogers. So it's a good thing the Celtics are deep in the coaches.
They're very fortunate they have an excellent experienced man in KC on the bench.
6-point lead for Boston. This could be important for Philadelphia here.
Big sequence. They got the ball in the right man's hands.
Irving against McHale, baseline, defended. Dawkins puts it in.
Very easily could have been 3 seconds, but Dawkins was in there a long time, but Doc again made a pretty good pass.
5:35 remaining in the fourth quarter. 99-95. Parrish setting a screen outside, then moves off it. Bird, watched by Caldwell Jones, into Parrish. Irving double teams him, and that did the job because he took an off-balance shot, and now Philadelphia can narrow it to 2 points.
Doc made a real good play, defensive play that time, helping out. Doc's got the ball. He tried to drive on McHale.
And a pass low. Was it off Boston? Yes. It's still Philadelphia ball, and now Irving is claiming that they ought to call Bird. They're looking closely at what Bird does with 5 fouls.
The 6th foul for Bird's going to have to be a good one. He's not going to pick up a cheap one. They're not going to call a cheap foul on the 6th one for Bird.
Chris Ford's going to come back when we get back. And we have 5 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in this game at Boston Garden. It's everything we thought it would be, with the Celtics leading 99-95, and the best is yet to come. So we have the Acapulco Cliff Divers. That ought to be exciting next week, along with the World Speed Skating Championships from Oslo, Norway. Casey Jones, right now the Celtics coach. Rick Roby, 5:10 remaining, 99-95. This is a big sequence for Philadelphia.
Isolation for Doc. Again, double team. They only have 4 seconds on the shot clock. Long jump by Hollins. Good play.
Lionel Hollins and it's 99-97, down by 2. You do pretty well. That's three things you do.
Job, Dick.
Coach, analyst, and now you do all right. Larry Bird, 5 fouls, keep it in mind. Goes out to McHale. Irving will give him the shot, and Parrish. Boy, Parrish is a key performer with that outside shooting.
That was not an easy shot. Billy C's getting on Dawkins a little bit for not going out and challenging, but he made a tough shot.
4.5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, 101-97. Keep in mind, no team has won by more than 4 points in their series so far. Boston ends up with the loose ball and traveling call against Parrish. And that's one that Casey Jones, of course, he's not the most animated coach around, but I'm sure that the Celtic fans are echoing what he's thinking.
Jack Madden was right on the play, and again, it's a tough call, particularly on the road here, to make for a guy that's already thrown 2 coaches out of the game, but that's Jack Madden. He does a good job.
Now you like him, huh?
Well, I had some problems with him, I'll tell you that.
Dawkins controlling outside, 4:15 remaining in the fourth quarter. Doc J has a screen and a 3-point attempt. Goes after the loose ball. He missed the ball, and now Boston has it. And they'll want to use some of the clock.
That was not a good shot by Dr. J. Billy C almost fainted when he seen him launching the 3-pointer, but that's the confidence Doc has as a player.
Ford and a pass from Bird and Parrish again. Bird crashes the boards, goes up, but no, basket does not count. Might have been a foul before they went up with a shot. I think that's it.
The foul on Dr. J to give him 5, and they were in a penalty where Boston still hasn't had 1 foul so far in the fourth period.
Good pass.
Great pass. Good help by Doc. Good team defense.
Should Ford go up?
Parrish, no, I think you got the shot blocked. Here comes Bird, hustle again, foul on Doc. Bird's had some trouble from the foul line, but he makes the first one.
Andrew Toney, who has 5 fouls, coming back in for Philadelphia, replacing Lionel Hollins. So you throw caution to the wind at this point, Kevin, with under 4 minutes.
The big key to the game right now is Boston has no team fouls. They can really almost afford to foul a couple of times. It's not going to hurt them. If they get fouled, they go to the foul line. Big key to the game with a 6-point game.
It's a big lead against with this kind of a game at this stage. 3:45 to go. Dawkins goes inside, and they call the foul. Parrish. Third foul on Parrish, and so that is only the first team foul on the Celtics, amazingly enough, coming with 3:43 remaining in the fourth quarter. And Dawkins will go to the line to shoot 2, hits the first. Philadelphia has missed 5 from the line. The Celtics 14 today.
Philadelphia's a good foul shooting team. So is Boston. Surprising they've missed so many foul shots.
4-point game. 3:35 remaining. Cheeks and Archibald take it away, and a steal by Cheeks. He'll go in, and it's a 2-point game.
That's a big play. It's a 2-point game. Great anticipation by Cheeks, and they'll come back and try to run the same play. I think they're looking for Bird across the lane. There he goes.
And Bird was going in when Maxwell was driving. Bird had to get out of the way in a hurry. He puts it up on the outside. Parrish is there. He's gotten some key offensive rebounds, but the pass to Bird is wide, and Cheeks coming down. Loose ball. Irving goes up. He's got it, and we have a tie. 103 all with under 3 minutes to play.
It's a tie ball game, and now we got timeout problems. Boston's only got 2 timeouts left.
He only has 3.
They have their 22nd time, though. That's almost like a regular timeout.
But they got fouls to get. And now we have a foul, so that's a penalty, and Parrish will go to the line.
The Philadelphia bench was looking for the walk. They felt Parrish walked on a play. I think it was a good call, and again, you got the 3 for 2. It's going to be critical of the foul shooting down the end now. They can't afford to miss at this stage with an even ball game.
Dawkins' 5th foul, so we have a bunch of people with 5 fouls in this game. Dawkins, Toney, who is not in the game now, he's coming in. So we have several people with 5, including Larry Bird, and Parrish will go to the line and shoot. 2:44 remaining. Bird, who scored 18 points in the first half, only 3 in the second, of course, has spent most of the half on the bench with the foul trouble.
I think, again, it's such a great basketball team when you come in with 2:44 left in the game. Substitute Bobby Jones for Caldwell Jones. Not many teams in basketball have that opportunity. Yes, the trainer assistant trainer for Boston, is making a lot of trips between the locker room and the
In other words, are you trying to say that Bill Fitch may be heard but not seen?
Well, he's might still be much more involved in the game with that.
All right. Cheeks to Irving. Tough pass for Irving to make. Not a good one. A bounce pass in the crowd. Archibald the other end gets the basket and foul. And this is critical with 2:32 to go. And as much as you love the guy, I mean, that was not the best pass to make.
Doc really had this shot. In most cases, if we take this shot, it just hasn't been in the game like you expect. Here's the bad pass. Good steal by Parrish. Maxwell in the middle of the break. Nice pass. Tiny all the way for a great drive for Tiny. Three-point play. Maxwell made a great pass for a big man in the middle of a break. Tiny took it strong to the basket and got fouled for the three-point play.
Cheeks has 5 fouls now, so Dawkins, Tony, Bobby Jones, and Cheeks have 5. No one is fouled out of the game. As you look at Billy C. with 2.5 to play in the fourth quarter, a 5-point Boston lead. And Philadelphia's got to get on the board quickly here.
It's a must sequence right now. They need the basket coming down here this time.
Irving inside. Tony goes up, and they'll have the foul. So Tony will have a chance to get 2 back, and that's only the second team foul on Boston with 2:18 to play fourth quarter.
Again, the ball was in Doc's hands. He had it within 18 feet. Usually he takes that to the basket or takes the jump shot. He's looked to pass off the last 3 times when he's had the ball. I think he should probably take the shot.
Tony going to the line has 12 points. Foul was on Parrish, his 4th. Suns and Lakers coming up after this one at the Forum in Los Angeles with Magic Johnson back in action. And if you heard our halftime, Kevin Lockery candidly feels that the Lakers with Magic back will go all the way and win another title, and he feels they'll beat this team, the 76ers. That's his opinion. We'll see how the scenario develops. Parrish with 25, 4 fouls, and Tony has it. 108-104, 4-point game now. To get free of Bobby Jones. Couldn't get a better man guarding Bird right now. Parrish converting Philadelphia outside. Missed that time. Irving the rebound, and here is Cheeks. 2 minutes to play in the ball game, or the fourth quarter at least. Tony in the corner with Ford on him. Tony driving baseline, and it's blocked, and they call an offensive foul against Tony, and that will be it for him. Andrew Tony is fouled out of the ball game with 13 points.
That was a surprising sequence down the floor. I don't think they're happy that Tony decided to go one-on-one on the play. He took it on his own shoulders to go one-on-one. His 6th foul.
Sixers are fast, but not that fast.
We used to be that quick.
1:45 to go, 4-point game.
They're looking for Parrish again. Parrish or Bird.
Could be a big sequence for Boston if they can score here. They're not in any hurry. Ford inside, alone Maxwell. Someone let Maxwell alone.
Philadelphia needs a timeout. Right now they have to have a timeout. Maybe think about going for a 3-point play. Good timeout by Billy C.
Celtics right now in command, you would say, with a 6-point lead with 1:31, but with 3 points, you never know in this kind of a game, and that's one thing that has really kind of tightened things up down the stretch.
I think it's a great rule. You can come down 2 times down the floor, down 6, you can tie the game up. They have some people that can shoot from out there also.
To the huddle.
I mean, that's other guys, he's working his ass off, and then he dribbles right in basically.
Billy C's a little upset when somebody plays his defense.
That's the story. Billy hasn't said anything yet, other than that early comment.
On emotion. Let's get it right into it. Isolated over here. Okay?
Billy C, I think, has decided to go to Bobby Jones coming up the middle of the lane, or Dr. J isolated on the left-hand side of the floor. Boston can take a foul. They really aren't in the penalty yet, but I would save it for a little while, but they haven't been in the penalty, and that's going to be critical also.
The game was tied at 103, and the Celtics have outscored the Sixers 7-1 since that point, and that's been the late story in the ebb and flow and the change of momentum in this ball game. With under a minute and a half to play in the fourth quarter, a 6-point lead. Philadelphia has to get something here. Dr. J outside is short. Harris the rebound. Big one, a big miss, and a big rebound. And now the Celtics will try to chew up some time.
Boston will use the clock, try to get a shot off about with 3 or 4 seconds left on the clock, and try to just ice up the game by using up the clock.
Caldwell Jones out there. Bird going for 3, no good. But Parrish gets the rebound. You know, Parrish has played a very quiet but effective game, both in getting the key offensive rebounds and the key outside shots.
A great second half, Parrish. He's been the difference in the second half. Bird in the first, Parrish in the second.
Celtics trying to narrow the lead in the Atlantic Division to 1.5, and they're close to it, but
timeout now.
Tiny missed the shot and the rebound by Caldwell Jones. And now what, with 33 seconds to go, 3 points.
What happened on that play, though, is the pass was made in the backcourt, which means that Philadelphia has to take the ball in the backcourt. They cannot take it at half court. If the man that rebounded the ball would have called timeout without passing the ball, they could have moved the ball at half court and saved some time.
Is this an imperative 3-point attempt here?
I think I would take a 3-point attempt right now, and Dr. J can take it. They got a couple of guards. They have Ollie Johnson's on the bench who might come in and take a 3-point play.
Please get something. What I want to do is I want to get the ball in the line out. Once. Doc, let's have Maurice take it out. I want Doc setting the screen for Lionel. Doc, you're here. Lionel. Set the screen, unless he can get it right here. Otherwise, I want to get the ball in here. Now, I really want to go at them. Now, we're here. I want Darryl to set a screen for Ali coming over here. What I'm looking for is a 3-point shot. Lionel either taking it, time it up. I want to set the screen in here for Ali coming. Darryl, after you do that, I want you to go to the opposite side too.
Well, they know what the options are. They want Hollins for a 3-point attempt, and Ollie Johnson, the veteran who's taken off the scrap heap at 31 years of age, is in the game, number 18.
He can shoot the 3-point play. Surprisingly, Dawkins might be able to get it up in the 3-point area, but it's going to be Hollins first, Ollie Johnson with a pick from Dawkins.
They've got to do it. Hollins, double team practically, goes up for the 3 points. No good. Parrish fights for the rebound. Dawkins is there, and I believe it is still, they say it is off Boston, so it's still Philadelphia ball. 24 seconds to go, and now they want another timeout.
Another timeout by Philadelphia. They'll go again for the three-point play.
24 seconds to go.
That's Philadelphia's last timeout, and they don't have a 20-second timeout left either. So they'll have to set up a play in a huddle for a 3-point play and then set up their trap. If they make the basket, they go into a full-court trap.
Now, did they execute that one the way they wanted?
Well, Hollins was initially the first man.
Ollie to take it out. Ollie to take it out here. One Doc. One Lionel here. Darryl. And we have Doc over here. Maurice, you're here. I want Darryl to go down, like he's setting a screen. I want you to come back, Darryl. We're going to look to hit you right here. Doc, you're going to screen across. Lionel's going to come to here. You're going to continue out there, okay? Maurice, you're back here. Now, I think the man that's going to be open here, Darryl, we're looking for either Lionel coming here and Ali stepping right in. I think he's going to be open. So what we're looking for, you're going to have these people in these 4 areas, okay, to get in the ball. Then we have to pick up full court.
Also, Boston has the foul to give now. It might be a pretty good time to foul if they want. But again, I think it's a good play in the idea that Ollie Johnson's going to take the ball out of bounds, and that guy that jumps back in bounds invariably is the guy that's open. So I think they'll try to get it back to Ollie Johnson.
24 seconds to go. We're going to see this play envelop first, and then we'll tell you about the MVP selection of the game. Ollie Johnson will inbound it to Dawkins, and they're going to go for the three-pointer, and Ollie Johnson misses the shot, and Chris Ford has it, and a foul in the backcourt. Foul in the backcourt by Hollins, his fourth. Well, the Miller Most Valuable Player Award goes to Robert Parrish of the Boston Celtics. And Kevin, just a few moments ago, I said he was quietly a very effective player.
Well, we talked about the matchup on the top of the show, that who was going to be the biggest matchup in the game. It was Dawkins and Parrish. Parrish had a tremendous second half. Both on the offensive boards, he must have had 6 or 7 offensive rebounds in the fourth period alone. He scored some big hoops. When Bird went out of the lineup, he was the man that kept him in the game. I think he's very deserving to be the MVP in the game.
25 points for Robert Parrish. The Miller $1,000 donation will be made to the Special Olympics on behalf of Robert Parrish of the Boston Celtics. And Kevin, at the outset, you said the big matchup would be Dawkins against Parrish, and Dawkins did score 26 points and has scored to this point. Three-point attempt is good by Cheeks. 112 to 107. 13 seconds to go. Philadelphia needs the ball, but Tiny's not going to let him have it if he has anything to say about it. Across the line, 7 seconds to go, and we have another foul with 7 seconds.
Ball side out of bounds.
Okay. Sorry. Out of bounds.
Last three-point attempt at Ollie Johnson. It was diagrammed perfectly by Billy C. He just missed his shot. No complaints on that.
Larry Bird wraps it up right here. Don't forget, Suns and Lakers coming up next. Maxwell with the steal, and the Boston Celtics have won their 24th consecutive game at Boston Garden at a capacity crowd, as Casey Jones, the only man left on the bench after Bill Fitch and Jimmy Rogers were thrown out of the game, was there. And of all the 4 games played between these teams, the Celtics' 7-point margin here is the largest margin, and more important for the Boston Celtics, a must-win, because they are now trailing by a game and a half to Philadelphia.
Well, they trail by a game and a half, and they have 2 games to play head-to-head. 1 in Philly, 1 at home, so it's really a very close race right now.
Kevin, thanks very much. We had a lot going here.
I enjoyed it, Dick. Thank you.
All right, so the Celtics win 114 to 107, thanks to our technical and engineering staff, Chuck Milton, Sandy Grossman. Coming next, it'll be the Phoenix Suns and the Los Angeles Lakers with the Magic back from the Forum in Los